day, black in the night. Stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast is awake, orange, black and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, who day we ignite and Cincinnati, we gon' rise and in the jungle we unite and dripping orange and black and white. Who day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Wake up the beast, everything day is a feast. Time to bust it off the leash. In the jungle dripping heat, tiger stripe the city streets. East side stand up, west side stand up. If you rapping, who day? Time to put your hands up. Bengals stripes, we in it. New day, new age, yeah, we get it. Cincinnati jungle fit it. Who day in our house, we win it. Orange and black and white, we build it. Earn our stripes, you know we kill it. Bleed our colors, jungle dripping. Nasty, natty, yeah, we lit it. Lit the crowd, get the city loud. Yeah, we feasting now. Fit the bounce, make the city howl. Now we beasting now. Thunder through the tunnel, from the sideline to the huddle. Stripes we tatted on the jungle when we flex that who they muscle on them. Stripes, Cincinnati, we gon' rise and in the jungle we unite and dripping orange and black and white. Who day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Now who gotta move like it on? Now who wanna move closing on? Now who wanna move on? If you got stripes, then you let the city know you rock 'em. Yeah, we got 'em. Yeah, we fought 'em. Like that black and orange on bottle. Bingo bottle. Never stop it till the beast of beast and know who they rockin' with the diamond stripes. Flossing on the ring. Cincinnati, she's our queen. We gon' show the world who king. Orange in the day, black in the night. Stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast is awake, orange, black and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, who day we ignite and
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, the Iceman, Jeff Trunapole. And as always, I bring you sports from a West Side point of view right here from the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio, home of the back-to-back AFC North champion Cincinnati Bengals. Now, do me a favor, if you found the show, hit that like and subscribe button, smash that thumbs up. You guys are awesome. I'm all the way up to 2,399 subscribers. As always, I appreciate every single one of you guys. If you're watching on Twitter or X or Facebook, whatever the hell you want to call Twitter X, and you have yet to subscribe to my channel, why not? Please do so. Please go to the YouTube channel, Sports with Strawberry Ice. Hit the subscription button, hit the bell for notification, and every time I go live, you'll be notified. Also, exclusively in the YouTube chat crew, we're doing super chats. So if you want to support the show, if you got a question you really want to get answered, give me a super chat. I'd greatly appreciate it. And as always, I'm coming to you live from this glorious place down here. It's the Ice Cave, and the Ice Cave is brought to you by T Properties. T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out the website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs. So if you have looking for an apartment, a house, a condo, check out T Properties. If you have a rental property you do not want to manage anymore, give T Properties a try, and they will take care of the rest. And you know it, I wear it almost every single day. I got one of the hats on today. We got the greatest quarterback in the league. His name is Jackpot Joey. His name is Joe Burrow. We call him Jackpot Joey. If you guys want any of the merchandise, any of the hats, the flags, the signs, the shirts, the hoodies, any of that stuff, go right there to jackpotjoey9.com. Portion of the proceeds go to the Joe Burrow Hunger Relief Fund and the Joe Burrow Foundation. The beer, if you want that, it's at Brink Brewery and lots of major Krogers and drive-thrus and all over the city. And like I said, portions of proceeds go to the Joe Burrow Foundation on that one too as well. What's up to everybody in the chat? We got Strangers First, Brad, Billy Roll, my boys in there. Kyle's in there. Paul's in there. Lindsay, Augie, Robert, and Tom. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the show. All right, so I kind of titled this one, Bengals back on the playoff path, question mark. And I say that because the last 2 weeks I've pretty much said they had to win these last two games to make sure they are 3-3 going into the bye. That way they can get completely healthy because you got to play the Sucky Niners coming out. And I know they lost to the Browns. They're still a good damn team. So the Bengals had to get to that point. So to make this game not a must win. Now, one thing I will say, everybody's complaining and worried about the offense. One thing I'm going to say, and I always say this, rolling it back to last year, and I've compared This year to last year, a lot. Joe Burrow was injured. I know it's not the same injury. This one lingered a little longer than the appendectomy, but our offense really did not get going until after the bye week around November. Remember last year, November, December, we were undefeated. So we got the bye week coming up. They're going to get healthy. Hopefully they get some things figured out and take off. And that's what's happened the last couple of years. So I'm just going by what has happened in the past, and usually past repeats itself more often than not. Anyway, let's get to my boy from the Riverfront and the Bengals show. He is Joe Farsting. What up, Joe?
Homie, how you doing? How's the west side of Cincinnati doing this afternoon?
Well, it's always the best side. Duh.
I'll let you have it. I'll be nice. I'm a guest.
Yeah, I like the Brooklyn Dodger hat. I meant to tell you that before. That's cool. I like that a lot.
Thank you. I gotta rep it. I'm a gigantic Jackie Robinson fan. That's either my next big purchase or my Christmas present for my wife that she doesn't know about yet is to give me a Jackie Robinson throwback. So
now you gonna get the Brooklyn Dodgers one?
Oh, absolutely. He never played for Los Angeles. He retired.
He retired.
He retired because he didn't want to go play cross country.
Right.
Which is funny because he went to UCLA. So
I know. That is interesting. Anyway, all right. So, like I said, I titled this show Bengals back on the playoff path. Where are you at? Are you we're on the right path? Still things to work on. What do you got?
Yes, on both counts, honestly. Okay. I mean, getting back to 3-3 was absolute necessity. I think they could, if they had lost to the Seahawks, they still had a path. But if they lost to the Seahawks, they can't lose to the 49ers.
Right, and that's where that's why I said this past week was so big. It doesn't make the 49ers game a must win.
Absolutely, and I mean, Niners are a bad matchup for anybody. The only reason they lost is because their kicker, they drafted a kicker in the 3rd round. Bengals drafting Money Mac and him being successful in the 5th round has absolutely just screwed up teams that they're now drafting kickers on day 2.
Yep.
And Niners drafted a 3rd round kicker, and he misses a 31-yarder at the gun in a game that San Francisco had CMC and Debo go up with injuries.
And Shooter, what was the distance the one Shooter hit? Was that 50, 57? 52?
50, on Sunday.
On Sunday,
it was,
yeah. It was a pretty long one, but finally he comes in. I'm going, it's good.
If it's between 50 and 56 yards, I don't even worry about it. It used to be, with the other guys they had with CZ Cavs himself,
Bullock,
Randy Bullock,
Fat Randy,
Fat Randy, Nugent, any of that, anything 50 yards, and your butthole's puckered so tight, you're like, they're not, if they make this, it's going to be an absolute surprise. So I like not having to worry about that.
I love not having to worry about that. I mean, it is. I'm more shocked when he misses them. I'm like, what?
Yeah, exactly.
You missed one? Like,
yeah.
I hate to say it, but it's what the Baltimore Ratbirds have been able to enjoy for the last 10 years or whatever with Tucker.
Yeah, exactly.
I hate the guy, but he's a hell of a kicker. I mean,
best. I mean, he's the best kicker ever.
Right. Yeah. I mean, until Money Mac beats all his records, but he's got to hurt.
He's as accurate as Mac, but add another 5 yards to his.
Right.
McPherson's probably the 2nd or 3rd biggest leg, but
exactly.
I mean, he can probably hit 67, 68 yards. Justin Tucker.
He might. I mean, I've heard that Mac has hit a 60-yarder in practice.
Yeah,
but practice and game are two different things.
Exactly.
All right, so let's kind of
practice.
We're talking practice, man.
We're talking practice.
We're talking about the game. We're talking about practice. The thing I die for, not practice. Anyway, sorry, that was very.
AI. I missed the answer,
dude. I love that guy.
He was the toughest son of a bitch who's ever played.
Dude, I rooted so hard for him. I hated the Lakers. Now, see, I hated the Lakers because I was a Boston Celtics fan. And back in the 80s, I was just a Celtics fan. I respected the Lakers, but I've never liked them. So when AI was going against Shaq, and I hated that Shaq left Orlando and went to the Lakers. When AI was going against them in the 0-1 finals, dude, I was cheering my ass off for him. I love that dude.
I wasn't an AI fan per se. When his prime, NBA was unwatchable. You'd see games that were in the 80s, 85 to 76, and it's just awful. You'd have the Knicks and the Heat absolute in these wrestling matches. They just beating the absolute crap out of each other. It was awful to watch. But AI, like he absolutely just took an ass kicking game after game. He was 6'0", 150 pounds. and I mean, just would come after it. I mean, he'd score 35 points, and and it looked like he'd been through a war.
Augie, all I'd say is Michael Jeffrey Jordan, the greatest basketball player ever. Sorry, just saying.
Yes,
Just saying.
yes,
Put it out there.
yes.
Anyway, but one thing I always, every time we talk about 80s basketball, I'll never forget this. I think it might have been a playoff game. It was the Celtics and the Pistons. And I hated Bill Laimbeer. Dirty freaking player. I can't stand that dude. So he was doing something, pissed off Robert Parrish. Robert Parrish basically just bashed him right in the nose, punched him, started a fight, and all it was a foul. 2 shots go to the line. Nobody got thrown out. Nobody got fined. It was a foul. Like, jeez, like, that was they would never. I mean, I think what they did back in the 80s, some of these guys would go to jail now.
Oh, the Pistons. I mean, the Pistons absolutely literally just beat the shit out of teams. You see the stuff that they tried to do to Larry Bird, and I think people nowadays, I don't think they have enough appreciation for what Larry Bird can do.
Mm-hmm.
Dude showed up to the 3-point competition in his warm-ups.
So who's going to finish second?
Yeah, exactly. Walked out in front of everyone and said, all right, who's playing for second? Decided to play a game. I mean, just that dude was so good. And people need to he's not in the conversation because he had the back issues, doesn't have the longevity as Jordan or LeBron, hasn't brought multiple teams like LeBron, but he's probably top 5 in my estimation.
Exactly.
That was a freak.
Right. We're probably boring people here talking about the NBA here. I think everyone's talk Bengals here. All right, so 2 things you and me were talking about before the show started, and it's still a concern for me. RB2 and tight end, and one thing, nothing against Irv Smith. I still think there's a chance Irv Smith could do something. But for the love of God, can we get Tanner Hudson up here? Can he be active? I want to see. He's the I think most complete tight end we have. I am not saying all pro. Anything. I'm saying the dude can block and he can catch a pass. And that's basically what we need. And this dude can do both of them pretty darn good. Why won't they put him on the active roster?
I'm kind of wondering if Irv Smith's days might be numbered. Mitch Wilcox, he's kind of a jack of all trades. He's not a great receiving tight end. He's not a great blocking tight end, but he's useful. He's their emergency long snapper, which we found out last year. Mm-hmm. Drew Sample is the best blocking tight end. He absolutely deserves to have a spot on this team.
Oh, yeah, he's legit as blocking tight end.
Yeah, people need to absolutely. I mean, it's been enough years. He's on a second contract. Forget the fact he was drafted in the second round.
Yeah, it is.
He had physical attributes, and they didn't pay off. But the guy is.
If he could catch, dude, he'd be all pro. if he can catch or run a route,
Yeah. But he blocks like an offensive lineman. Mm-hmm. So I've got absolutely no problems at all with him. What does Irv Smith do? Tanner Hudson has played 2 games. He is leading the Bengals tight ends in receiving yards. He has 48 yards. Mm-hmm. That's it. Like the entirety of the Bengals receiving core.
I said this in the preseason. I was kind of surprised that he didn't make the team right off the bat because I thought he was the best looking tight end.
We talked about it. I know we talked about it a couple times when I was on with you.
Right. So that's where I'm still. I mean, and maybe I don't know. Maybe who knows? Maybe Irv Smith. Maybe the writing is on the wall. I don't know because he's just. I think Augie said it. Somebody said in the commentary. He's not getting separation, and when he does, he's not catching the ball. I mean, it's just the stuff I was hoping to see from him, like the whole shot split out wide. They're doing it, but he's not getting open.
They had a play set up for him on Sunday. And it was open if Burrow had another half second. It was kind of like he was blocking in line on the left side of the line and leaked out across the field, was running down the seam. Absolutely nobody on his side of the field. Burrow didn't have time. He had to dump it off to Chase. Chase got the first down, so it was a successful play. But all he had to do was get the ball anywhere near Irv Smith, and it's either a 60-yard touchdown or 40, 50 yards. Bengals have the ball in the red zone.
Jungle Jerry wants to know how many targets. I guess
for Hudson has 4 targets. Or I'm sorry, 6 targets, 4 catches, 48 yards. Irv Smith in 4 games because he missed 2 being hurt. 11 targets, 6 receptions, 32 yards. Mitch Wilcox 4 targets, 3 catches, 17 yards.
And the thing is,
3 catches, 3 targets, 10 yards.
And the thing is, no matter we can have an elite tight end, this is never going to be a tight end heavy offense. Yeah. The thing is, though. What Hayden Hurst helped out so much was the checkdowns.
Yeah.
That's what we need because That's what we need in this offense. Joe needs a check that, and that's where we're missing Samaje. We're missing Hayden Hurst. I mean, we're missing these guys, and that's where, to me, the guy we have on the roster is Tanner Hudson. That's who I think should be right now. He should be tight end number 1, I think. I mean, if you want to bring Drew Staple in for blocking, put him down because he's been back there for third down pass blocking as a running back, which is fine. And if it's a passing down, put him in there. That's fine. But if you want to, an option pass block, Tanner Hudson's your dude, I think.
Yeah, I'm looking at PFF stats for pass blocking, and they don't have Tanner Hudson even listed. So I guess the few times he's been in, he actually never got any credit for any pass blocking reps. But
what do you have for the Giants? Because I heard they had him in there when a lot when Saquon was on the field.
That I will pull up here, but Augie has the thing. Irv's only 6'1", maybe 6'2". Yeah, he's short. He's 6'1", 245 pounds. He's roughly. He's smaller than DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf 6'4" and weighs about the same.
All right.
So it's, I don't know if he's getting lost and Burrow isn't able to find him because of this. It's only a few inches, so that you figure that shouldn't be the problem. But maybe he's being held in too long because the offensive line has been rough, so he's not been able to leak out in the pass patterns to be that safety valve. Mm-hmm. I don't know, because this offensive line was worse last year, and Hurst was utilized, pretty much. I think part of it is the Bengals got arrogant, thinking that they can just throw any slapnuts out there at tight end.
I think the tight end started drying up, and then I think they wanted to get I can't think of his name. He signed with New Orleans. He went to LSU. He's the one that ended up having diagnosed with cancer.
Foster Moreau.
Yeah, Foster Moreau. I think they were going to sign Foster Moreau. I think that was their plan. I think that was their backup plan. But then when that didn't happen, they're kind of like, okay, oh shit, now what do we do?
Yeah.
Irv Smith, come on down.
Yeah. But then they neglected the entire spot through the.
I've said this, but it drives me nuts that we had one of the best tight end drafts, and we didn't draft one single tight end. I'm like, just draft anybody, somebody. Yeah, I would have loved to get Wilcox from the Bearcats. Or not the Wilcox. Wiley, thank you. Yeah. Wiley from the Bearcats. Oh my God, I would love to have him. It killed me when he scored that touchdown against us.
Yeah, exactly. Just looking over Hudson's career, he only has 20 pass blocking reps. Last year, he had 11 reps and was graded really poorly, but the other few years, 21, 20, and 19, graded relatively high in few snaps. He's got really high grades for run blocking this year, right, for the Bengals. So, he's more of a typical tight end size, 6'5", 240.
Yeah, I want to get Paul's question on here if I can find it. Yeah, he got it in before the show started. He said the question's still out there. Is Zach calling the plays or is the OC? Me and Joe were actually talking about it before the show started because of your question up there. Zach he has the final say on the play calling. So, Zach is the play caller, but it's collaboration between all of them. So if you're, my opinion, and it's always out there that, Zach should stop calling the plays. The only thing I think that would do would take something off of Zach's plate. I don't think the play calling would change that much. It's the same play call sheet, same everything. So I guess to answer your question, yeah, Zach has the final say. So I think Zach is the play caller. Does Brian Callahan call him? He might. I don't know, but I think Zach is the definitive play caller. What do you got, Joe?
Yeah, I wish it's kind of a cop-out answer that I wish they would take the play calling from him just to see what happens. Like, if it gets worse, then we know it wasn't Callahan, it's the scheme. Mm-hmm. If it gets better, then we know Zach isn't a great play caller. But I don't think it'll be that much of a difference because it's collaborative. Every head coach dabbles a lot in one side of the ball, whether it's offense or defense. We know Bill Belichick. He's the defensive play caller, always been involved. Yeah, everything. Yeah, exactly. He's the czar there. He's and rightfully so. He's earned the right to do whatever the hell he wants, although he's earning the right to get fired because realize he doesn't do much without Tom Brady under center. But I don't like head coaches being the play callers. I looked up the list, and there are a handful that are doing well. Mike McDaniel down in Dolphins. I think their offense is running pretty good down there. What do you only averaging like 500 yards. Historically great.
It's all right. It's
Andy
doable.
Reid's done a damn good job being the play caller.
He's all right.
Yeah, and then some of the teams that are struggling.
But I mean, that's the thing too. Is there's only so many quote unquote elite play callers. I mean, there's a handful of elite play callers. I mean, there really is, and that's one thing I think gets lost in all this. And the other thing that I think is lost is you and me were talking before show started. These other teams are pretty damn good. Like Seattle, they got a hell of a defense.
Yeah,
they have a top 10 defense. They're very close to being back to where they were with the Legion of Boom. So that has a lot to do with it too. These other teams are good, and these teams are the Bengals aren't going to sneak up on anybody. Like, okay, let's just talk about the play we're talking about off air, the Jamar Chase, the interception, because when I first looked at it, just with my own eyes, I thought Joe threw it short. Watching it back, it looked like it was more of a back shoulder throw. And like you said, that the defense are going to know that's what they want to do. So that's where I think they got to take the shot and go deep now instead of back shoulder. So it's just a matter of changing things up.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to be predictable, and the Bengals, with as awful as the run game has been, and this has been for a couple of years. I mean, even last year when the running game was incredibly efficient, you still know that they're going to be out there trying to throw the ball 60% of the time, unless they're just trying to milk the clock, run a little 6-minute offense at the end of the second half. Like they're going to be out there to throw the ball. So
I think Dustin's got to get. I mean, I don't disagree with Dustin. He said maybe there's too many voices in the OC room. I don't think Lou's running by the plays by anyone. I'm not disagreeing with you. And I said, like I said, I don't think it would be a bad thing. I just don't. My point is, people who say that think the offense will look so much different. I think with Brian Callahan, and that's what people are saying. I don't think the offense is going to look any different. I do think it would help Zach to take stuff off his plate. I do agree with that point.
Yeah,
but as far as the play calling and how it looks, I think it looks pretty damn close to the same.
Yeah, I mean, you're just bitching about a different person,
right?
I mean, honestly, that's why Brian Callahan doesn't have a head coaching job, is because he doesn't have play calling experience.
I'd say the Bieniemy. That's what he had a problem with. So
yeah, exactly.
So I mean, like I said, I don't think Zach's going to give it up. He hasn't given it up yet. No. So I think it's a moot discussion because I don't think it's going to happen. So that's kind of where I'm at with the whole thing. But I mean, like I said, I mean, I think a lot. We'll have to wait and see what happens going forward here. Excuse me. But for some reason, I don't know why. I'd love to figure it out. Our offense starts slow. Now our defense hadn't started slow. Our defense in the last 2 years has been rock solid from the get-go.
Yeah.
Sunday was the first time I'm yelling Lou Dini is back, because that defense was the defense that took us to the Super Bowl, took us to his AFC Championship game. That's the way that defense played.
Oh, absolutely. They only had 5 tackles missed, which is so much more in line with what they were with what they were last year. I thought it was going to be a little more. I knew it looked better than it had been the last handful, all season long outside of the Rams game, but came out. Yeah, they only missed 5 tackles. The defensive line, and they struggle hardcore because they're lacking a lot of depth in the interior of the defensive line.
Hey, Cam Sample, he had a good game. He was playing on the inside a lot, and I don't think people have give him too much props for the game he had.
He dominated. The problem is he's a large body defensive end that can only come in and play defensive tackle when it's an obvious passing down, because he's going to get absolutely mauled in the run game. There was a lot of hope, and I was like probably number one on the Zach Carter hype train. He was drafted as a defensive end last year, and they moved him to defensive tackle. Last year was kind of a redshirt year. They were going to bulk him up, let him learn the position more, with the thoughts being he's got pass rushing moves, and then you bulk him up, having not lose too much quickness, that he's going to be a force, kind of be the Larry Ogunjobi that BJ Hill had a couple years ago.
Dude, I've said this. We still haven't replaced Larry.
Yeah, and he's been invisible. I mean, you literally never see his name called unless you see number 95 getting pancaked on by the offensive line.
You're talking about Zach. You're talking about Zach. Yeah,
Zach Carter. Yeah. So it's frustrating. I don't know. That's a spot that I wish they would have gone after in the draft. Get someone who's an actual legitimate.
That's why I'm worried to death. They have got to sign DJ. Dude,
that's a different spot, but yeah,
that's still interior line.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't replaced Larry. How the hell we replace DJ?
Yeah, I mean, there's no replacing DJ Reader, because he's the best true defensive tackle
Mhm.
in the NFL. That he's, that he doesn't get the agile, any of the accolades. I mean, he should be all pro. They only look at sacks and stuff like that when they're talking about defensive interior, which is really, really weak because not all guys are in there to sack the quarterback. But he had a bunch of pressures, and he does do a decent job of pushing the pocket when he's out there on pass snaps. He wears down because he's 340 pounds.
Right.
Also, explain this to me. How is someone who's 340 pounds supposed to contort his body when he's sacking the quarterback to not put the full weight of his body?
Dude, I don't know. I don't understand that one at all. I'm like, what's he supposed to do? Put a pillow underneath him? I mean, he threw the ball, he hit him. It's football.
I get you don't want somebody, and especially, I mean, the whole idea is someone like Myles Garrett, who's 6'5", 280, absolutely, that's a freak of nature that can bend like that, landing with his full force on his butt, like slamming him into the turf.
Right.
That wasn't that. Like, that's not that.
He didn't drive him, and that's
Right.
the thing. That's the thing.
He
He hit him and then drove him.
Yeah.
What he did, he hit him, he kept his head up, and just landed on him. I mean,
yeah, I don't know what roughing the passer is anymore. And I understand quarterbacks are what make the game go. Quarterbacks are the marquee names. You don't want to see them get knocked out with internal injuries from someone like absolutely planting them unnecessarily, but
you can't just go to flag because you feel like it.
Yeah, there needs to be, and maybe don't make it reviewable by the teams, but on personal foul penalties, that's roughing, things like that. There was the one on Dax Hill on the was it Bobo? Dax Hill came in and hit him with his shoulder, and got called for a personal foul. When Dax went in with his shoulder, went in chest.
Yes.
And just the way that the receiver contorted
his
came
head
down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was this. That's what the guy that was coming toward me again. I'm like, he didn't hit him in the head.
Yeah, it was the receiver coming down and bracing.
Right.
Like, the receiver didn't do anything wrong.
No,
I mean, he was bracing himself for his hit, but he kind of braced himself, and that's what made the contact. I mean, it was shoulder to shoulder, but
they call it a defenseless receiver.
Yeah.
How's it a defenseless receiver when he's catching it and doing this? That's not defenseless. He's bracing for the hit.
Do you let up and then the guy just rolls on the ground, gets up, and runs in for a touchdown?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I remember a few years ago, and I can't remember who it was. I want to say, I can't remember. It was someone along the sidelines, maybe Von Bell or Jesse Bates. It was on Pittsburgh. I think it was Le'Veon Bell who had the ball, and they thought he was going out of bounds, so they didn't hit him. They let up. Well, he tiptoed and ran down the sideline for a touchdown. And this is the crap that happens when you're afraid of getting a penalty. You play tentative, and I mean, look at Joe Osai last year in the AFC Championship game. He played through the white and hit him a step too late. But if you let him go a step early, he's picking up extra yard. Football's a tough game.
And then they let the wide receiver for Seattle slips my mind. The one who got the personal foul on or
DK Metcalf.
Yeah, DK Metcalf.
Oh, that's right. It was Will Jackson. Augie pointed it out.
There you go. So he can sit there and get pissed off and slam Cam Taylor-Britt to the ground. Yeah, it's 15-yard penalty. That dude should have been kicked out of the game or something. That's bullshit. How is that not? I mean, who knows if Cam bangs his head on the ground because he's not expecting to get hit. I mean, how is that just a 15-yard penalty? I mean, that's where he should have been thrown out or something. You can't just hit somebody because you're pissed off because the dude's taking your lunch.
Yeah, it's, there's a line between being aggressive and being reckless. And that's, you don't want guys to, you don't want to take the aggression out of guys. Because, again, that's when you get the shit like guys being missing tackles because you're afraid of hard hits. But it's, I don't know.
Crip here says you can notice the late hit on Burrow, but Joe never gets a flags.
There was actually,
he never gets a flags.
Jay Morrison had a stat of quarterback flags and hits and things like that. And he was actually got flagged more frequently than Patrick Mahomes.
Really?
Yeah. But it was there was some context with, and I can't remember everything about it. I'm going to see if I can, while we're moving on, see if I can find it.
I'll read this, what Dustin said. He said, truth of the matter, the last couple of games we played, on offense. We played on offense was in Buffalo last year. Wait, let me try again. Truth of the matter, the last couple of games we played on offense was in Buffalo last. I think he means the best game we played on offense was Buffalo the last couple of years. We played
Well,
okay.
the last
against,
complete, the last
yeah.
complete, yeah.
Oh, complete. Ah,
Yeah.
see. Yeah, the last complete game. All right. Okay, against Arizona. But man, we've been off on a while now. Struggles aren't new, if you want to be honest. No, the struggle, and that's what I keep saying. I'm like, it's the same as, and and maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I'm just trying to look through as orange colored sunglasses, but it's the same thing we did last year. Our defense carried us. I think Paul said it in the comments. Our defense carried us. They've carried us the last 2 years. The offense doesn't start get going till after the bye week or in November. Right, that's when our offense gets going, and we start averaging. I think we averaged 26 points a game. I think last year. I heard that stat.
I think so.
So I mean, will it happen? I don't know. I'm hoping it will. I'm just going by things, start ramping up for. I wish I could tell you guys why. It drives me nuts. I have no idea. I mean, I think the slow start is because we don't play anybody, but we're into the second month of the season. We should be able to start playing better. But I'll put it to you this way. Seattle has a really good damn defense. And I think that had a lot to do with it too.
Yeah.
I mean, now the one where Joe missed Jamar on the crossing pattern and he threw it behind him, that's on Joe. That one, I think Joe just missed it.
If it's the one that I'm thinking of, that was the one when Cody Ford got absolutely beaten across his face, like almost immediately. Burrow had to get rid of it fast. And yeah, he threw it behind him when if he leads Burrow or even puts it right on Jamar, he catches, and as fast as Jamar can accelerate,
he was gone.
I mean, if not a touchdown, then it's at least a big chunk play.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just the second half, our offense was off. Orlando Brown didn't play the whole fourth quarter, I think, right?
I can't remember when he went out, but
yeah,
it was around somewhere end of the third quarter or early fourth when he went out.
And I was surprised. You were talking off air. I was surprised Cody Ford was our first guy off the bench at left tackle. I kind of thought Cody Ford was going to be a guard. I know they said he's competing for the tackle. I never thought he was going to come here and be a tackle. And then you told me I thought Deontay Smith would do it. You said Deontay Smith was inactive.
Yeah.
That one kind of was head scratching. I mean, this is where I wanted to keep Lel. I mean, how did I have that big dude coming off, and being your backup left tackle? So I'm not. I mean, I think Orlando's gonna be fine. Luckily, we got the bye week. He can rest his growing up, but that was a little head scratching when Ford came out there.
Yeah, I mean, the thought was if anything happened to Orlando Brown, then Jonah would switch sides back to the left side, and then they'd bring in Deontay Smith to play the right side. With him being inactive, Jackson Carman was the other tackle, and
they don't trust him.
But
why did you have him and why did you have him active?
Right. So what happened to Deontay Smith that now he's trusted even less than Jackson Carman, unless they just have Jackson Carman as a backup interior offensive lineman? You know what I mean? Like maybe he's no longer thought of as a tackle, and I mean, guard is probably his best spot anyway, for his build and slower feet. But
I think this is a good comment. Ronald said in the second half of the Seattle game, Joe didn't trust the left side of the line.
Maybe. Volson actually, his numbers look a lot better than what they did. He got absolutely smoked. There was one thing, and and on my show, I'd gone over. My biggest concern was teams using stunts and twists, and just to cause confusion between Volson and Karras. Mm-hmm. Something I thought that the Seahawks would be doing because, again, they've got talented pass rushers, but they didn't seem to do a lot of that. Mm-hmm. And he just got absolutely smoked into the ground by someone just absolutely bull rushing.
That was really the only one he really got smoked at. If I remember right in that game, I don't think he got completely smoked because I just remember I know exactly which one you're talking about. Because the drunk coach in the stand that sits around me, it's always Volson. I said that's literally the first one he got smoked on today. Calm down.
Yeah, he had 39 sacks. He gave up 39 snaps, and he gave up 1 sack.
No, that was the one he got smoked on.
Yeah, exactly. And one snack or one. Why do I keep saying one snack? I'm hungry.
Snack. Snap.
I am
Yeah.
hungry. It's my wife's upstairs cooking quesadillas, and I can smell the poblano peppers down here. So
That made me hungry too.
yeah, it's they're good. But yeah, he only credited with the one the one pressure on the sack, 97% efficiency. So I mean, he had a pretty good game. It was, I mean, Cody Ford was out there for 11 snaps, so Orlando Brown Jr. was 29. Uh, he had, let's see, how many pressures? They gave him a 22.9 grade in Pro Football Focus. That's not good. Like this is like 22 is you want to be like 90 or 100. That was that quote you just put from One Nation. They had that a lot. And that was after the AFC Championship game. I think that was taken out of context. I think he said something about worrying about getting a flag or something like that, and I think it's taken out of context. I mean, we as Bengals fans, like we're expecting.
I was pissed after I saw it.
yeah, it looks bad, and when you look at the penalties and that were questionable, that they seem to go a certain way when they're given 3 tries on third down because of weird shenanigans. We're kind of expecting to get screwed, but I don't think that's I don't think that's what he was.
Yeah. This is one thing I was kind of
care.
Yeah, this is one thing I was kind of curious about. So why they didn't think about doing this if Orlando's out, which I don't think Orlando's out. No, I'm just saying, just in this game, you could, because guys have flipped. Dave Lapham played every single freaking position on offensive line in one game. You can do it. Why didn't they put Jonah over at left just for that game? And put if I were to have Ford at right, then you have Jonah at left. To be honest.
I think when I look at it this way, it's you're weakening 2 spots. Jonah Williams has absolutely been rock solid at right tackle.
Thank you.
So
I'm telling everybody that.
Yeah, there's absolutely no issues with him at right tackle. And if you move him from right to left, you now have a worse left tackle and a worse right tackle. So sure. I think it was.
I just don't want Cody Ford being our backup.
I don't get that. I
just don't want that.
I mean, he was a decent interior.
I'm okay with that guard.
Yeah.
This is that tackle.
I'm looking at his grades for season over season, and this is primarily as a guard. 2019, 56.6 pass blocking grade. 2020, 48.4, 47.2, 46, and in 12 snaps for the Bengals, because he came in on a jumbo package for 1 snap earlier this year, 30.6 pass blocking grade. That's not good.
Yeah, I don't.
And so what is, again, I understand not having any faith in Carmen.
But why is Deontay Smith inactive? Like, why? I don't.
Right. Or if Deontay Smith is, you don't trust him, then go back out and get Lyle Collins.
He's still out there.
Right. Like, what happened? Like, is there some issue of.
Let's discuss that one real quick. Because that's I don't, because I kept saying this all year or all offseason. I was like, they could keep him, put him on the PUP list, which he'd be off of, he'd be coming off of it now.
Yeah, now he's 6 weeks.
He'd be coming off of it now. So we could have him as a backup. He could fit under the salary cap. Only thing I said is maybe because the only reason I could think of is because they are so close to the ceiling of the salary cap. This is the closest they've ever been in the history of the Cincinnati Bengals to the ceiling of the salary cap. That's the reason they let him go, just so they have more flexibility. It's the only reason I could think of. But now, Mike, the reason we lost the Super Bowl is our offensive line. The reason we didn't win the AFC Championship game last year, offensive line.
Yeah.
Because we had guys injured. If you have Lyle Collins as your backup, dude, that's worth it to me.
The only thing that I wonder is if the Bengals wanted to put him on PUP, he knew he would be ready to go before week 6. And
there's people comment, maybe his ACL's, because he hasn't got picked up. Maybe he's not back from his ACL. Maybe that's it.
See, I was wondering the other thing is if they wanted to PUP him and he thought he was ready to play and asked them for a release so he can go try to get a spot. Or maybe he's waiting to just waiting to find a perfect spot. I mean, a lot of guys will do this. Older guys, they'll sit around and wait until sometime mid-season, wait till injuries, and they'll have their choice spot. Right. Like they're not going to sign on some team that's sucking out there for Caleb Williams or Drake May. So
Ronald says it's because Ford is Orlando's buddy. I mean, he could be his buddy all he's want.
Yeah,
and he can play guard. He can be friends. He don't.
Yeah,
they're not playing Ford at right tackle because he's Orlando Brown's buddy. No.
yeah, it's Joe Burrow has a lot more say as to who's out there
Yeah.
than Orlando
Well, I
Brown.
love you, Ronald, but I don't think it has anything
Yeah.
to do with why he's playing right
Yeah,
tackle.
I mean, we're looking for like
I mean,
these theories and everything. I think it's just the other
you-
guys just don't look good. At
They
least
were-
with Ford, they know like he's not going to be good, but they
I mean,
have
he
an
wasn't
idea of what it's going to
awful.
look like.
I'm just, it just if Orlando gets hurt and he can't play for a game or two, which nobody's saying that at all.
Right.
That scares me if Ford is the guy you trust the most, and that obviously they do because he came in. That's just a scary thing to me. I would like a better backup because that's just been the freaking problem. We get
We deserve
our
Joe Burrow deserves better
our
depth.
backups haven't been
Yeah.
good enough to win.
Yeah.
You know?
Tom Brooks has a good question up here. Question: should this be Frank Pollock's last year? He's in charge of the run game and the O line. Like his personality, not his results. He should have been shit canned. Whether the problem is with him or not, this is multiple years to where things haven't worked coming out of from the start of the season, and then they have to immediately come out and sometime during the bye week or mid-season change up, throw away the script, and start over again. A lot of these free agents are guys that coaches get so much input because Bengals have a small front office. Duke puts a lot of faith in the position coaches. So these guys that have been brought in, not saying Orlando Brown because he's been okay, but some of the other guys they brought in, like La'el Collins, he wasn't healthy, but I mean Collins was Pollock's guy from Dallas. These guys haven't worked out, or guys that he's had input in the draft. Cordell Volson is not a good left guard. He should I'm cool if Cordell Volson is our backup interior offensive lineman. Awesome, that's a solid guy. He's a mediocre to worse, mediocre and worst offensive guard. I mean, he's ranked like 90th out of 104 offensive linemen in the league for blocking.
I got a theory for you. I don't think anybody's getting fired till the end of the season. But let's just say the Browns have they
won't fire anybody. But.
No, but let's just say the Browns have a shitty year and they fire their coaching staff. I am calling the phone up and running to go get Brian Callahan, Sr.
Oh, not Brian Callahan. Shit, what's his name?
That his name was it's Callahan.
It is Callahan, but it's not Brian. Oh. But yeah, he's But for what though? For head coach? Because he did a
no.
Oh, okay.
He's offensive line coach.
Yeah,
offensive line coach.
Yeah.
Not a head coach. He didn't do so as head coach. Offensive line coach, yes.
Yeah, I think that Brian being the offensive coordinator had a lot to do with him not going after him. Bill Callahan, there we go. Yeah. Because I think he would be concerned about being not undermined, but I mean his dad's a legend, and it would be Brian's the captain of the ship. So I don't know if there'd be concern.
I thought they tried when Zach got hired here. They tried to get Bill Callahan.
Yeah, and I think, or it might have been an issue of Bill not wanting to.
He was under contract with Cleveland. They wouldn't let him out.
I thought he signed with Cleveland afterwards. Okay,
he was already there. I mean, everything that I read, because I remember that back when they were trying to get offensive line coach, they wanted to get him and they couldn't because Cleveland wouldn't let him out of his contract.
Okay.
So I mean, Jack, if you tell me I'm wrong, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm just remembering reading that. So I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
No, January 31st, 2020. So that was already after is when the Browns hired him. That was already after his Zach's first year.
Yeah, I meant well, they were trying to get him when they replaced and they brought Pollock in. They wanted to get Callahan then.
That's what I can't remember.
Because Pollock came in 20. He was here in 2020. Yeah, he's here for his first year of Super Bowl year, right? Yeah, because they had somebody, I can't remember, the other guy was the offensive line, and he was awful offensive line coach. I can't remember his name. Then they brought Frank Pollock in.
Yeah, he left, went to join the Bengals in 2018, was fired up 2018 because he was just with everyone getting washed out with Marvin and everybody, then came back in 2021. Mm-hmm. So, no, actually, he's still, or I can't remember who the offensive line coach was for the Bengals in 20. Who was their last offensive line coach?
I can't remember. He was awful. I remember.
Yeah,
I
mean,
couldn't wait to fire
didn't
him. He was terrible. I
matter.
cannot. I burned his name out of my memory banks. I cannot remember it.
I know, and I'm completely spacing. Like there was someone between Pollock and Pollock.
Yeah.
But
He
yeah,
was only
Callahan,
there for 1 year, I think.
yeah, 2 years.
Oh, 2
Callahan
years?
got or Callahan got hired in the middle of those 2 years. So the Bengals had somebody already.
Turner. Yep. Tom says Turner. Yep.
Okay.
That's what it was. It was Turner. I can't remember his first name.
I knew it wasn't Paul Alexander. Pollock replaced Frank Alexander.
Yeah.
At the, for
he
the
was,
Cowboys.
He was not good.
No. Or Alexander replaced Pollock.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully they'll get it. I mean, we're talking about the offensive line like they've played awful. They haven't played awful. They played good. I mean, but not to the elite level that we think. And to your point, Volson hasn't made the jump that that he needed to make. He's played okay, like not great. But the thing with the stunts, that's the thing that I was worried about. That's what Tennessee did a ton of on us, and Arizona did it in the second half. Both games, they got better at it. That's the thing, though. It's like they got to be able to figure that out before they start doing it and hitting our quarterback.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of the one concern that Karras has been around the league for a long time. So that there was some issues with the Mike Munchak. That guy's
he's a douche.
He was with the Steelers, so chances are he was is roiding, and ever will be taking steroids because they all took steroids and they're all a bunch, But hey, they're all in the
all in the Hall of Fame. Oh.
Yeah. So somehow the Water Boy's in, but we can't get Kenny fucking Anderson.
Right.
Exactly. Pardon my.
No, I'm with you, dude. We can't get Kenny Anderson in, can't get Corey Dillon in, can't get Leap Lamar in, can't get Isaac Curtis in, can't get
I mean, there are plenty of guys.
I could go on and on and on. The guys who should be in already.
Right.
But one thing I do want to give a shout out to two guys on the secondary, Cam Taylor-Britt and Mike Hilton. And I've been kind of on Mike Hilton because I'm like, is he losing a step? Is he? I mean, I'm not saying he had a great game, but he made that interception, that key interception, and that's the first play I've seen him make in a while, to be honest.
Yeah.
So that was a good sign. And Cam Taylor-Britt played his ass off. I mean, he played like a number one DB. And if he can play like that all season and we get Cheeto healed back up, our secondary is going to be even better.
Yeah. Cam Taylor-Britt is just a physical, tough dude. And he's someone who's going to be a pissant. And I mean that in the right way. I mean, you can see it with DK Metcalf. Like when DK shoved him, I think he said he just laughed at him or just said something. Didn't physically
good job
react.
or something. Yeah, I heard.
Yeah, good job. So then he knocked him on his ass, and he still didn't react.
Right.
And if you can get someone that can be that kind of a pissant, getting someone's head and not react, that's perfect. It's when you get the guys
that's what he wanted him to do. He wanted him to piss him off
his game.
work.
Absolutely got him off the game. But I wish I had video of it. But some of the jams that he was getting DK Metcalf is built like a tight end. He is huge. He is the biggest, strongest wide receiver I think I've ever seen. I mean, I think he was stronger than Megatron, the Calvin Johnson. And he was absolutely just beating the crap out of him on the line, keeping him, redirecting his routes before he even got going. And DK got him a couple times, but again, Cam Taylor-Britt is only in his second year.
Yeah.
That interception that he made, I haven't found a great picture. There's got to be a good picture somewhere. He was absolutely parallel with the ground. Just incredibly athletic. Gets up and then runs for 24 yards.
Yeah, it was a slick as hell catch.
I think he's on horse growth hormone, not human growth hormone.
I don't know. Either way, I was excited. I mean, to be honest, the potential. I'm not trying to oversell it here, but from what I've seen in the trajectory that he seems, we haven't had a DB1 like that since Ken Riley, Leap Lamar. I mean,
Leon Hall was pretty was pretty physical. I mean, having Leon Hall and Jonathan Joseph, those two were.
Yeah, Leon Hall just got in. I could say that, and that's how I'm going to preface this. Or basically, Leon Hall had a shorter career. I don't know how long it got to see how long Juice's career is going to be. But yeah, Leon Hall was good. But I'll put it this way: I think CBT has a a chance to be a Pro Bowler, All Pro. Leon Hall never was that. I mean, he had a good year, and now Leon Hall had 2 Achilles injuries, so that hurt him out a lot. Hurt him a lot. But that's where I'm just like I said, I'm not trying to hype him up too much, but he could if he plays games like this and he can do it that consistently against DJ Metcalf. That bodes well.
Yeah. And then on the other side, and we haven't talked about him yet, DJ Turner. DJ Turner has allowed a 42.4 passer rating, which is, I think, second for all rookie cornerbacks. It's top 5, top 6 in the league. He's physical. He's a little on the shorter side at 5'11", but he is so fast. I mean, he ran the 4.27. It was the second fastest 40 at the combine ever.
Yeah. But dude, our secondary is fast all across the board.
Incredibly fast.
Yeah.
Nick Scott he misses tackles at a faster rate of speed than anybody I've ever seen miss tackles. It's incredible. He's like the Flash. He runs right past, tries to hit the guy really hard. The guy bounces off and runs for another 10 yards. It is incredible and impressive.
So, all right, I'm glad you brought that up. I was shocked. Dale from Bengals to Bruce tweeted this out that Scott still got more snaps than Battle. I thought for sure it was trending in the other direction. I was like, dude, Battle might be starting going to that 49ers game. I don't know. I mean, I'm still Nick Scott's still playing okay. He's still missing tackles, dude. I guess it's mental thing. I'm like, wrap up. Quit trying to hit him with your shoulder. I don't understand that. Like, if he's there,
right,
get the guy on the ground. I mean, yeah. I'm with Nader. I think it's time for Battle, but I mean, I've kind of said that. But Lou Dini doesn't play rookies unless he has to. Now, because last year, everybody said, well, he played Juice last year. He had to. He didn't have a choice. If he's got a choice, he's probably going to play the veteran guy, unless it gets so bad that he has to play him. And it's kind of bad right now, I think.
Yeah, it hasn't been good. I honestly think a lot of it had to do with just.
Yeah. I thought I called him Nick. So Mike. I kept calling him Mike Scott.
The pitcher for the
pitcher for the Astros. Yes.
That guy was a piece of shit too, but
he was a hell of a pitcher.
Yeah, killed the Reds. But I wonder if it's just because of the type of offense that Seattle had. I mean, Seattle had they have 2 really good running backs. They have good wide receiver core, and they just wanted to play someone who at least had a little bit more. Discipline's the wrong word, but someone who's a little bit more experienced. Battle only had, I think, 9 snaps, but I would not be surprised if he ends up still starting at some point. Maybe not but
I said it from when we drafted him.
Yeah,
that's kind of what I thought that was gonna. I mean, he's going to eventually be our starter in the future. I mean, next year I think he's our starter. I don't think Nick Scott's our starter next year. I think he's going to be starting by the end of this year, but for sure by next year, Battle's our starter.
Yeah, I mean he's actually the 3rd highest graded Bengal defender per PFF. Trey's leaps and bounds over everybody else. He's the only one who's been superlative this year. DJ Reader as expected, and then Jordan Battle's right behind DJ Reader for overall defensive grade. I mean, he's been good on run support. He's been good tackling. He's been good on good in coverage. So he's a keeper, and that was why he was drafted. I still don't know about using the draft pick on him when they had starters. I'm glad he's there, but
you talking about Battle or you talking about Turner?
Battle. It was still a weird pick for me, but
I think
the guy's incredibly intelligent.
They had him ranked so high, and he was drafted. They drafted him lower than they had him ranked, and I don't know if they're complete. They put it this way. I think they thought they were going to re-sign Bell, and they didn't. So they got Scott, and they're like, "Well, Battle's still here. We value him up here. We can get him here. It's a high value pick for where they picked him at. That's why I think they took him.
I mean, they got him at the very end of the 3rd round when he was thought to be a 2nd round player. Again, like the picks turned out great, and the guy was a multi-year captain at Alabama, and like you have to be something. You have to be a freak.
Oh yeah,
to be
and smart.
Exactly. You've got to have just that leadership ability, which is something that Von Bell had. Again, I don't know. Dax might have it. I don't know. Nick Scott. I don't know. But Jordan Battle absolutely has that leadership ability and has the intelligence. He's the type of guy that you're not going to have to tell somebody something twice.
Mm-hmm.
If he's going to make a mistake, that's the
Right.
last time he's going to make
Right.
that mistake.
And
He's going to put it in his,
Lou likes guys like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
who wouldn't? I mean,
lose a secondary coach. So
right.
he's going to love these guys. So that's why I think, he doesn't like to play rookies unless he has to, and he hates rotating. He has to because Nick Scott has been so bad, and he's got someone who can start.
Even
as
his coverage is that's. I thought Nick would be able to cover more, and it still isn't. It's not as good as I thought it was going to be. I'll put it that way.
It's almost like he's just biting. Like I don't know if it's schemes and they've got him playing too shallow, but he's missing over the top. Lot.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, that's what I find surprising. I'm like that because he's a veteran. He's played in Super Bowls. He played. He should be able to recognize it more than he does.
You think?
I would think so. All right. Did you know this? Crypt Keeper has breaking news for us. Are you ready?
Is it breaking?
It's breaking. Drew Sample is on a streak. He's averaged a catch a game. Does this continue in the 49ers game?
Sure. I mean, does he though? I mean, I don't
know if he has. Go by Crip said. I don't know.
He's played in 6 games and he has 3 catches. And I'm looking at his game log, so
maybe not.
He had 1 catch last week. No catches in Arizona. 1 catch for -1 yards in the Tennessee game. I remember that one. It was like they ran a play on 3rd down and lost 10 yards, and lost the yard. Then 1 catch against the Rams. Actually, that was a really good play against the Rams. Caught the ball, made a move.
Oh yeah,
I think it was 3rd down and 8, 3rd down and 9, and he picked up 7.
I remember that.
And he made it 4th manageable.
I was yelling at Dale sits behind me. I said, Drew Sample, he made a move. Did you see that?
That was the first missed tackle I think he'd ever forced in 5 years in the league.
His whole career.
Yeah, probably accurate.
We're giving him crap, but earlier in the show we were talking about how good he is at pass blocking, and he's an elite blocker. So I mean, I would still keep him for that. I mean, to be honest,
I would use him as more of a H back, a move tight end or fullback.
Well, they've put him in the backfield a couple times.
Not often, but I think that it would be smart to use him. And there's a lot of talk about them moving under center a lot more often coming out. Which
now Joe's calf is, I'm not saying fully healthy, but better. He looks pretty damn healthy to me. I don't know, but I mean,
the only problem that's concerning is in 2021 and 2022 when they went under center, they were running the ball.
Mm-hmm. Almost every time.
That's.
Well,
I hope to have a plan. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I hope to have a plan that they're gonna, that they're going to do play action. They're going to throw the ball more, so it's not just an absolute dead giveaway.
All right, Dustin's put this up twice. I got to read it for him. Said, Joe, you mentioned the early 2000 NBA games were a slugfest. The NFL season has been a snooze fest. College football and October baseball 100 times more entertaining. And I'm a football fanatic. I mean, Dustin said this a couple times on here about how scoring is definitely down in the NFL, which it is. It's and that's one thing that they brought this up on Cincy 360 about that. This whole our fans are freaking out about our offense. Well, offense across the board hasn't been that great. I mean, the Chiefs had a game where they didn't score a whole lot. So I mean, I don't know why that is, other than that they're not doing 2-a-days. They're not hitting. They're not really practicing in training camp like they used to. That's the only thing I can think of.
I don't know. I'd have to do a little more research to see if it's cyclical, to see if it's like how much it's down this year over last year. And I saw something about it, and I meant to look a little more over it so I'd have something intelligent to talk about on here, and I did not. I fumbled the bag. But
I never look intelligent on here anyway, so don't worry about it.
I mean, but it's your show, so you can just play it off. You say anything with conviction, and it's the truth. You don't have to know what you're talking about. You can absolutely just bullshit your way. You say it with conviction. You say it with a straight face, and people are going to believe you. That's called being a politician.
Oh my goodness!
I mean, it's.
God.
What's funny is last year, I know the running game actually returned a bunch. Like there were teams running the ball a lot more last year, and I haven't seen if that's still up this year. But running the game or running the ball shortens the game. and score's going to be down because you're going to have a lot longer drives. I mean, it's a lot faster, a lot more efficient to throw the ball down the field.
That's the thing too, and Corey brought this up on the show a couple of times that everything circles back around.
Yeah.
Eventually, that's where it's going to go back. Not full run, kill the clock football, but the run game is going to get more in there. And because look, if you run the ball, you can control the clock, you can control the game more than you can. You're throwing it all the time, and that's where that's going to start coming. I think coming back around more. To be honest, I don't know when, but I do think that's. I don't know if we're going to be like the Baltimore team of the 2000s where they just ran the ball and, Trent Dilfer is your quarterback. You play defense. I don't know if that's ever going to come back again.
I think it's going to be more teams that don't have a quarterback are going to just stop trying to force the ball downfield and, are going to find more creative ways to run the ball. I mean, look at San Francisco. I still don't know what Brock Purdy is. Yeah, he had 10 straight games. He won his 10 straight starts. He did not look great on Saturday.
Yes, because he didn't have –
yeah.
Fuck Christian McCaffrey or Debo. That's what I'm like.
Now Cleveland's defense is fucking legit.
They are.
Like they are so good.
I want everybody to stop this conversation of Brock Purdy MVP. Look at who he's got. I mean, he does. It's not like he doesn't make plays.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't. Okay, it's kind of like the Bengals did exactly what I wanted them to do. They stopped the run and they made the quarterback. I can't think. Quarterback for the Seahawks.
Geno Smith.
They made Geno Smith beat him.
Yeah.
That's what the Browns did. And now it helped with everybody out, but they stopped everything else. They made Brock Purdy try to beat him. Now, he damn near did. If they kicked the field goal, I guess you could say he did.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like that Brock Purdy's out there throwing for 400 yards or anything. That's not him. He's not that type of quarterback.
Yeah, he's a good point guard. He's John Stockton.
Yeah.
He's a guy who's going to dish the ball.
Right.
He's not a guy who's going to be able to create a ton on his own. I mean, I was at the UC Iowa State game on Saturday. I'm not going to talk about that.
Oh God,
R.I.P. Bearcats. But Brock Purdy came from Iowa State and just talking to a lot of the fans. Unfortunately, my tickets are right behind the visiting bench. Jeff can,
I remember. They're good seats.
So, but Iowa State fans travel pretty well, and that's where all their fans are. So, I had some conversations, and I mean, he was a gambler. I mean, he put the ball in harm's way. Like he'd make some plays, but he was not the quarterback, didn't have the results that he had, is having in San Francisco because he has a strong supporting cast, like a crazy good supporting cast.
It's also, they more are don't mess it up. That's the type of quarterback he is. That's how they use him.
Yeah.
Don't mess it up.
Yeah.
It's not, we're going to put the ball in your hand and let you go make plays. No, we got all these playmakers. Don't mess it up.
Yeah.
That type of quarterback should not be in the MVP race.
Well, and those are the ones that end up getting exposed in the playoffs because you need a quarterback who can make plays.
Yes.
Why have the Bengals struggled in the postseason? Because Burrow hasn't made plays. I mean, even the games they won. And this isn't on Burrow. This is because they're playing good defenses that are wrecking the piss poor offensive line. Your quarterback needs to be able to create plays. That's why Patrick Mahomes wins. Like he is like the off.
Well, Patrick Mahomes didn't have an offensive line. They lost.
Yeah, exactly. He is the off script king. You need a quarterback that can make stuff happen, especially, when things start to break down. And Burrow hasn't been able to do that because the offensive line hasn't given him a chance. And Brock Purdy isn't in the arm talent or anywhere near the same category as Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, even Tagovailoa.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good distributor who's done a really good job of limiting mistakes, but that's about it.
I'm laughing at Augie's comment. He says Mahomes has his own flag in his pants too.
There was probably
they get so many calls. Oh,
it's
getting blatantly obvious.
But here's the problem. Not the problem. Burrow needs to get in refs' faces.
Yeah.
I mean, Tom Brady has shown shown the blueprint.
Mm-hmm.
For 20 years, he would get in the refs' faces and complain about flags.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Burrow doesn't.
Well, it's just like, all right, let's go.
They start looking for him. They start looking for the extra bit.
Well, let's go with it. Tannehill did that in the game against the Bengals. Yeah, we hit him in the head, but it was like the face. I can't remember who it was who sacked him, but it wasn't like we nailed him in the head. We sacked him, and he's like, hey, heavy that. Like, that's not a flag. They're like, oh yeah, it is. Like, no, it's not.
Yeah,
I agree with you on that.
So I mean, I have no problem with Mahomes arguing for flags because it seems to work. I mean, the squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Exactly. All right, man. We've been on for an hour and 5 minutes. I'm gonna go eat some dinner. I'm gonna go watch some baseball tonight. So who you got a TV review for in baseball?
Not really. Have you seen all of the between all the Reds fans, all of the uproar over Nick Castellanos?
Like
There's a
cheering for
gigantic.
him?
Well, there's a gigantic like fandom brawl, and these are the same fans that were fighting over what to do with the trade deadline and shit like that.
Right.
So people are saying that the Reds should have kept Nick Castellanos, or should have offered him a contract, try to sign him because he's
They're
been
still saying
fantastic.
that?
Yeah. But then there are other people that are out there looking, well, he only had 1.6 WAR and making however much money, and Will Benson had the same WAR and was making this little bit of money, and they're just the dumbest arguments.
I mean, Nick failed, dude. Why are you arguing over that? I mean,
exactly. Nick Castellanos was not a good hitter last year. He had 96 OPS plus, and he's an awful defender and an awful base runner. He had a 112 OPS plus this year, which is good but not great, while still being an awful base runner and a better defender because they figured out what he sucks at and they moved him to minimize that. The Reds need good hitters, so yeah, they should have tried to offer him a contract because what they had behind him was awful, but the Reds were going to suck with him last year, and they actually had a better player.
Anybody's arguing that they still should have signed him. I think I wanted them to sign him. Yada yada yada. Look, we got a team. This all right. I know we're going to talk Reds, but I do want to get your opinion on this. All right, Arroyo, the shortstop in the minors for the Reds. Yeah. Let's just say, for shits and giggles, that he is ready to be the starting shortstop for the Reds next year, coming out of spring training. I say, if that happens, you move Ellie to center. I think Ellie would be an elite center fielder with his speed and his arm. You got Ellie in center. You got TJ Friedel in left. Put Steer in right. Marte at third. Arroyo at short. McLean at second. CES at first. Stevenson catching. You have if that comes to fruition, Tyler Stevenson would be the oldest guy on your freaking starting 8. I mean, and if that happened and everybody keeps staying healthy and hitting like they were, Joe, these kids aren't going anywhere. And we got a good ass team for a long damn time. If we go and we add a couple arms in the bullpen, now I'm talking about India probably getting traded. I think he's getting traded. We add a couple arms in the bullpen and we get a veteran starting pitcher. Dude, I'll take that. I think we got a shot. Now, starting pitching's got to stay healthy. And they got to pitch more than 5 innings. That's got to help. That's got to happen. But we got a shot to being a World Series contending ball club for the next 5 years or more.
Arroyo finished in AA. He's not going to be ready to be the.
I know.
Nor do they need him to. I honestly think his benefit to the Reds is as a trade chip.
People say that's what I'm afraid they're going to. That's what I think is more likely to happen. I think his potential and everything is so big that I don't want to trade him. I'd rather trade the third baseman, DH. Who? Collier.
In the minor, yeah.
Ken Collier. I'd rather try to trade him because he's third baseman, DH. We don't really need that,
But he's also athletic too. But
true. But I mean, either way, let's just put it this way: if they keep Ellie in, actually, you still put Ellie in center field and you put McLean at shortstop and India at second. You can go with that too. But I think India and one of our minor league guys is our trade pieces. Is what I think to get us a couple relief pitchers, and hopefully I don't know if we're gonna get them all with those two. But to me, that's what I think we need in this offseason, don't you?
I will tell you right now what the Reds need to do to make themselves a contender. Go out and sign Mitch Garver. He's a catcher. He's going to be a free agent. They need somebody, not necessarily to be the starting catcher. They need somebody to push Tyler Stevenson and going to be a good backup catcher. Tyler Stevenson needs to shit or get off the pot. And if Stevenson fails, because he doesn't hit enough to play first base or to DH, and his defense is atrocious. He is the worst defensive
One thing
catcher.
I will say, he, in the last 2 months of the season, he got better defensively and hitting.
His hitting got better. I will give him that. But his defense is still, he's 6'4". He loses strikes. Any strike
Swing.
that clips the bottom. Yeah, any strike that clips the bottom of the strike zone, he's got to reach because he's so short. That
All right, so how about this?
Jerking it down.
All right, cool. All right, then that's a trade. Is he a trade piece then?
Who Stevenson? No, you keep him because his value's low. He's still, as a whole, did not have a good offensive season.
Even with his potential, because I mean, potential is still there.
And he's 27 though. His ceiling, he's got to be close to his ceiling. Again, I'm fine with him being on the team, but I think they need someone to push him or to be a higher end backup. I love Luke Maley, but Luke Maley is a defensive specialist that can give you some offense. They need more offense. You go out and you get a right-handed hitting outfielder, Teoscar Hernandez. He's not going to cost you a ton of money. The Reds' money should not be an object any year, but especially this year when the Reds have absolutely nothing.
That's the thing. They have plenty of money.
Yeah.
I mean, I still don't know if they're going to go out and trade or sign a whole bunch of people. I think
they aren't. They don't need to spend $1 billion.
No, that's what I'm saying. You get a couple of relief pitchers, and you get that starting pitcher, and get
You need 2 starters. They don't. You need one to be mid rotation. Yeah, you need one to be mid rotation starter. It doesn't need to be an ace, but you need someone. Sonny Gray. Could you imagine getting Sonny Gray back as your number 2 or number 3?
But I want this is my 4. My 4 is Hunter Green, Lodolo, Ashcraft, and Abbott.
Are you? 4. How many of those guys have pitched 150 innings in the majors?
Well, I know that. That's
how many seasons has Nick Lodolo pitched 100 innings?
I'm not disagreeing with that, but
that's the problem.
All right, so you're saying mid-level. You're saying the guy who could be in the bullpen and they come out and start if these guys get hurt.
One and one. You need one guy to be in the rotation.
Yes.
And then you need one guy that can be your swing guy.
Okay,
I want Brandon Williamson.
I got you. I agree with that.
Okay, I want Brandon Williamson and Connor Phillips starting in Louisville. I want those guys stretched out so that if there's an injury, they don't need to stretch somebody out. What's that?
Brandon Willis has got to get another pitch.
Yeah, but he actually his second half of the season, he was really good. And I think if you have him in Louisville,
he can't make it through the rotation. He never made it through the third rotation of the batter because he doesn't have a third pitch.
Yeah, and that's fine, but that's why you start him in Louisville. That's why.
Okay, so my thing is, if he doesn't develop that, he's in the bullpen. He has to.
Maybe, and that might be a spot because he's got a fastball and he's got a changeup. His changeup was really good when he started spotting that. His fastball or his changeup was ridiculous. Augie says, "Screw Sonny Gray, got chewed up and spit out here."
Augie's from New York.
What am I, Sonny?
Augie's from New York.
Okay, I was gonna. Okay. I'm like,
yeah.
That's because the Yankees tried to make him a high strike pitcher. Like his stuff. Like if you look, like I called it. Like I can go back and find something to where I called how Sonny Gray would be used. They quit, or the Yankees made him throw a 4-seamer up in the zone, which is what they wanted all their pitchers to do. He's a 2-seam guy, move the ball around.
Right.
Reds let him throw his 2-seamer.
4-seamer.
Yeah, exactly.
It didn't move.
Exactly. And that's that was the Yankees trying to take an orange and make it into an apple.
Right.
I mean, seriously, he was fantastic everywhere else. It had nothing to do with the bright lights. It's not New York fans seem to like to think that, oh, guys can't, it's just the lights are too bright. No, some guys just with certain teams, like they try to make guys into what they're not.
Mesh.
Exactly.
You don't do what you make the guy do something you don't do right.
But anyway, you're saying Edwin Arroyo's the shortstop. Reds have Ricardo Cabrera as a shortstop in their top 10. Reds have Sammy Stafuro, number 11th in their thing as a shortstop.
All right, put this either way.
They've got shortstops everywhere. They can afford to deal one for
my point of that is I like Ellie in center field. I think Ellie can play shortstop, and I actually think McLean is a better defensive shortstop than Ellie is.
Oh, he is absolutely.
And Ellie, I'm just telling you, with that arm and his speed in center field, you have him in center field. You got TJ Friedel in left, and you get a good short, one of the 500 guys we got at shortstop. And you have McLean at second. We're gonna have a solid up the middle defense. And for baseball, everything I've been taught, you go from right up the middle. That's where you want your Gold Glovers.
Absolutely. I mean, you want to catch a shortstop, second baseman, and center fielder. I do not disagree with you one bit that Ellie would be a fantastic center fielder. The Reds already put that to bed, said he's not going to work on outfielding. And I'm okay with that. You keep someone at shortstop until you know they can't play shortstop. Marte is an absolutely amazing third baseman. He looks like Manny Machado.
I would keep him at third.
His glove is solid.
His bat was starting to come around.
Oh, it's starting to come around. He ended the year on a 16-game hitting streak. I mean, he absolutely just hitting rockets. If he needs, he only hit 3 home runs. That's the only thing that didn't really show up. What was the power? But he has power. It's coming. It's just a matter of launch angle and things like that. Matt McClain is an absolutely fantastic second base. He's a great defensive shortstop. He's an even better defensive second baseman. That's your leader right there. Everyone says, "Oh, you can't trade India because he's a leader." India is a not very good hitter and an awful defensive player, and he thinks he's a
don't
leader.
Tell everybody that because we want to trade him and get something for him. I mean, you know, all the MLB scouts are watching this show. Come on.
He is the greatest second baseman since Joe Morgan.
Yes, so you should trade something for us too.
Right, Mike Trout.
Yes, there you
or
go.
Jonathan India, straight up.
Sign me up, brother.
Yeah,
Sign me up.
2 starters, right-handed hitting outfielder, catcher to push, Ty Stevenson, and some power arms for the bullpen. Again, that's not going to cost you a ton of money. That might cost you $50 million combined, which would put the Reds' payroll at $70 million. Like, they'd literally have no money next year.
I agree with all that. Like I said, you kind of confused me when you said 2 starters, but you're saying your second starter is a swing guy, which
you need you need depth.
Yes, and because the thing is, we got to be. I don't want, like Jeff Carver's on here. I don't want any more bullpen days. We got to get these guys. And somehow, Hunter Green, Lodolo, Ashcraft, they got to figure out how to freaking stay healthy. Hunter Green especially hasn't been healthy. Hasn't had a full healthy season yet, and it kills me because I really think Hunter Green can really be that number 1 legit guy for us. I think he wants to be that guy.
But he is that guy. I mean, you look at his numbers.
But you can't do it on the disabled
list. Right. Exactly. I mean, you can't teach health. You need to figure out, like, what is the issue. I mean, he had Tommy John surgery. He had the hip issue. But it's, he needs to be able to
his diet, something. The grind is
figure out what the issue is. Yeah.
Yes. That's more what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And Lodolo got hurt so long ago. Was his a hip thing? Was that wrong?
It was a leg. It was a stress fracture.
Is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's just, I mean, he'll come back from that.
But he's struggled with injuries, and that concerns me because, like, you're not injury prone until you're injury prone, and then when you're injury prone, you're not in the, you're not on the, on the roster.
But dude, when he was pitching, he was pitching so good.
He's got a higher floor than Hunter Green. He not as high of a ceiling, but he's got a higher floor. At worst case, he's a lights out reliever.
Yeah. Anyway, this is the first time I've been excited about the Reds offseason. God knows how long. Anyway,
it's the most interesting. Real quick, it's the most interesting offseason because the Reds. There are players out there. There are moves to be made. The Reds roster is in good shape to be able to make a handful of moves and put themselves in contention.
And one sneaky move I think it's good the Reds did. They moved Crawl to president. So
I wonder what that changes though.
I think it changes his somebody trying to steal him from us.
Yeah, I mean
that's kind of what I think that move was for.
Someone wants to steal them, I'll drive them myself. I do like Sean Penner, the guy that brought up. I mean, the Reds. He's been in charge of the Reds minor leagues, and the minor leagues has been really, really like pumping out prospects.
You see, that's the thing is, dude. Like our minor leagues are so good right now. I'm like, I don't want to change anything. This is the best our minor leagues have been in my lifetime. Okay?
But if you train guys beneath you, and if you leave a system in place,
I know
like
I've heard all that before.
I have zero faith in the Reds front office.
Right, I'm like,
no matter who the names are, I have zero faith in the Castellinis to be able to stick to a plan without getting itchy.
That's why I'm like, just keep who you got. I mean, David Bell, whatever.
Managers are irrelevant. You have 5 great ones, 5 bad ones, and then 20.
He's okay.
Whatever.
I've never been.
The players like him and play hard for him.
Yeah, and
he fights for his players.
That's the key. Honestly, you gotta have if the players don't like him, won't play hard for him. He's gonna be fired.
Yeah,
So the other stuff, he drives me nuts as a lineup and some of the stuff he does, but whatever.
That's all group talk. I mean, that's all stuff that's figured out. There's a game planning coach. I mean, they all sit down and work that shit out.
25 coaches now.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, that's we want to complain about him, but that's not him. Like, or the pitching changes. Like that's Derek Johnson and the other guys in the on the pitching. Like that's. Group thing. There's a bunch of guys making this.
I want the guys to pitch 7 innings. I would like that. That would be nice.
Yeah, but it's not 1995.
I don't care. It should be. That's when baseball was baseball. Damn it. Hey, Joe, plug some stuff before we let you go, brother.
All right, we're the Bengals show. We do a live show every Sunday night after the game. Just kind of a nice wrap up. We have an episode every week. It's youtube.com/Riverfront Cincy. Not just us. We have the Riverfront, which is the longest running Reds podcast in the world. We have Late Night Reds with Tim Daniel. We have Riverfront U. We have Reds. We have UC and Xavier beat reporters now. We're expanding. We're getting huge. Again, you have 2,300 followers or 2,300 subscriptions on YouTube.
Me?
You? Yeah.
Yeah.
All of you out there, give us a follow. Watch us. You guys don't unsubscribe if you don't like us, but I think we put out some entertaining stuff. Every now and again, I'll bring this guy on to talk to me.
Yeah.
So
don't worry, you guys will blow my doors off soon. I know you will. if you haven't already.
You can tell us that you knew us when.
Exactly. I'm like, Strawberry Ice guy. I don't know that guy anymore. Yeah, we're big time.
I'm from the east side where we think bigger.
What's up?
Jeff, thanks, buddy.
Later. All right, guys. We went a little long. We started talking baseball, and like, dude, I'm excited about the Reds. So I'm like, I'm dying to talk some baseball sometimes. So especially when they're not doing anything yet. But first time I'm excited about baseball for the Reds in a while. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that. Go check out Joe and the Riverfront and all the great stuff those guys do over there. Let me get to the Facebook groups that let me live stream. And of course, I appreciate every single one of them. They're Who Dey Nation, Who Dey Leech, Bearcat Ruckus, Radical Reds, the Ohio State Buck Nuts, the Ice Bar, and then, of course, you can follow me on all my social media platforms, all under sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter X, and TikTok. Twitter X handle is at Jeff A. Trinapola. TikTok is at Iceman90. I'm also on Threads. Check that out. That's under sports with Strawberry Ice. I tried to pull the sound off yesterday, and I couldn't get it to upload. I did it like 5 times, so I don't know why yesterday's podcast would not go up. But I'm going to try it again. I'll put it on the podcast. It'll be on BeanPod, Apple, iTunes, Spotify, Google, Stitcher Play, pretty much wherever you get your podcast. Please make sure you rate, like, and review. Leave a 5-star review and a comment so more Cincinnati fans can find my podcast. I appreciate you guys watching the show. Hit the likes, hit the subs. That helps the algorithm. Share it out on Twitter, Facebook, whatever. It just helps me out, get more people to check out my show, and I appreciate that. YouTubers at 2,399 subscribers. As always, I appreciate every single one of you guys. And again, I say this every show, but honestly, if you guys don't watch the show, I don't be able to get half the people I have on here. So I do honestly appreciate you guys. Thank you. Tomorrow, who do I have on? I got somebody good on tomorrow. I know I do. Let's see. Wednesday, I got Jason Garrett from the 3 and Out podcast. He's a good dude. I've had him on, I think, once or twice. He's a really good follow on Twitter, and subscribe to their podcast. They're part of the Cincy Jungle group. It's called 3 and Out. He'll be on with me tomorrow. I'm going to watch some baseball. You guys have a wonderful evening, and that's just sports, baby. See ya!
In the night, stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast is awake, orange, black, and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, who day we ignite. Cincinnati, we gon' rise. In the jungle, we unite. Dripping orange and black and white. Who day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Wake up the beast, everything day is a feast. Time to bust it off the leash. In the jungle, dripping heat. Tigers strut the city streets. East side, stand up. West side, stand up. If you reppin', who that? Time to put your hands up. Bengals stripes, we in it. New day, new age, yeah, we get it. Cincinnati, jungle fitted. Who they in our house, we win it. Orange and black and white, we build it. Earn our stripes, you know we kill it. Bleed our colors, jungle dripping. Nasty, natty, yeah, we live it. Lit the crowd, get the city loud. Yeah, we feasting now. Fit the bounce, make the city howl. Now we beastin' now. Thunder through the tunnel, from the sideline to the huddle. Stripes we tatted on the jungle when we flex that who they muscle on them. Stripes, Cincinnati, we gon' rise in the jungle, we unite dripping orange and black and white. Who day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Now who gotta move rockin' on? Now who wanna move crossing on? Now who wanna move on? If you got stripes, then you let the city know you rock 'em. Yeah, we got 'em. Yeah, we fought 'em. Like that black and orange on bottle. Bingo bottle. Never stop it. To the beast of feast and know 'em. Who they rockin' with the diamond stripes? Flossin'